notice black people have the genius to put the curse word after they say the race of the person? Where white dudes, we always put it in front. You never notice that in conversation? You hear a black guy being like, man, I was standing there, this Asian motherfucker came in. You don't even hear it. You're just sitting there, oh, what did this Asian motherfucker do? I would tell the exact same story, right? I'm standing there, right? This fucking Asian comes in, right? Everybody's all like, whoa, hey, easy, Jesus, dude.
This is the TIP Network, where we help you level up
self-improvement
with a little sprinkle of sarcasm. TIP reacts, and this is the legendary.
Oh, that's an old clip, huh?
Bill Burr. This is an old clip.
Because he still has his hair there.
Yeah. No, it's dope. It's an old clip. He uses his hair, right? But, and this one is called The Difference Between White and Black People Using Curse Words.
You notice black people have the genius to put the curse word after they say the race of the person? Where white dudes, we always put it in front. And if we would just make that little adjustment, we could save so many careers. So many jobs could be saved in the white community if we would just put it after. You never notice that in conversation? You hear a black guy being like, man, I was standing there, this Asian motherfucker came in. He starts talking about, you don't even hear it. You're just sitting there, oh, what did this Asian motherfucker do? I would tell the exact same story, right? I'm standing there, right? This fucking Asian comes in, right? Everybody's all like, whoa, hey, easy, Jesus, dude. What year is it, you know? It's like, dude, I just said what he said. I just preempted the that's all I did. He suggested he's hooking up with people's mothers. I'm not even doing that. It's just a quick, I got it out of the way.
See, the legend Bill Burr right there. I've never, damn, his observational skills are on point.
It's amazing.
Wow.
Well, all right, so this is why I like comedians. Because comedians with great writing, and I'm not talking about hack comedians, because there's comedians out there, and like I'm not a comedian, but if you have good writing and good premises, you can glean a lot of useful information from it, because you're not going to laugh if it's totally inaccurate, right? Mm-hmm. If it's inaccurate, you're going to look at it and say, what are you talking about? And that's true. Context is everything, and not only context, but intent. So if I said this effing Asian person, it sounds like I'm really mad at them, right? But if I said this Asian motherfucker, it almost sounds like I'm giving them a compliment. Yeah. The reason why I picked this is because, as I tell a lot of folks that I mentor, a lot of folks who work for me, perception is reality. You're saying the same thing, but how you're doing it. Mm-hmm. And so in business and life, perception is reality, and this really points that out. I know I'm pivoting to management and pivoting to education, but it does. So what? It really means that how it sounds is almost just as important as what it is.
Yeah.
It's just the way humans
are built.
And how
people are interpret exactly from how people interpret what the other person is saying about them, because I know from being around different races, that sounds kind of funny, being down different races, but being around people of different racial ethnicities, they're not racist or anything, but they will use like to describe a person's race, but it's not used in a racist way. But sometimes it gets misconstrued to be racist when it's in fact just describing who they're talking about and that person's racial background, I guess. I don't know.
I'm going to tell you the craziest thing. I was in Ensenada, and I was sitting there, and I go there, and I'm like, they're like, oh, yeah, this cat, he's Filipino. He's like, oh, yeah, the Chino. And I was like, no, Chino means Chinese. He's Filipino. They're like, Chino.
Latin Americans? We're all Chinos.
Then I said, and I was like, oh, yeah, where I live, there's all types of people. There's, the black people, Mexicanos, and El Salvadorianos. And then there's, I said, there's Filipinos. There's Filipinos. There's Vietnamese. There's Chinese. And the guy looks at me and says, a lot of Chinos, huh? And I was like, and it doesn't even go. And then the funniest thing was they have this place, this restaurant in Ensenada called La Chanita Japanese Food Factory.
Yeah.
And it is the most racist picture ever. It's like a sun.
I think you showed me that picture before. I think you showed me that. Hey, you can't be laughing about that, right? You can't be laughing at that.
And I was like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, Jesus Christ. Oh my God, if this was in America, they would be protesting.
Were you incredulous?
Oh.
What's going on here?
I felt so much trepidation about even mentioning it today. But I was just like, and then I just relaxed and I was like, look, maybe we shouldn't take it so seriously. Because it's not like it's a restaurant. It's busy. It's not like they just made the restaurant to make fun of Asian people.
No.
They just made the restaurant with a name that they thought was catchy, La Chanita, Japanese food factory, which is like the Chinese ladies' Japanese food factory, which is hilarious.
But I think when it comes to racial history and people's own opinions and perception on race and racial tensions, people get easily offended and get touchy about certain subjects.
Right.
Right. And I've noticed, like, I'm not trying to throw any blanket statements here, but depending on the severity of that racial ethnicity history in the particular country, like let's say descendants of slaves, right? Mm-hmm. That history is so deep and so dark that it carries great weight now until today. Mm-hmm. While other races, other ethnicities that have had histories in the United States haven't been severely oppressed as the black community has been, is not valued as, is not seen as, really hard to pick my words in when it comes to like racial stuff. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, you're like, it's a minefield.
It is. It's a
minefield.
Literally, it's a minefield of like stepping on the wrong word and saying the wrong thing.
You did some of that, Jay-Z. You like metaphors. I said the minefield. Yes, it's a minefield. He was like rapping.
No, I'm literally trying to like step around words and trying to describe something where it's like, I don't want to diminish an ethnic group's racial history, whether it's you're white, you're Middle Eastern, you're black, you're white, or whatever, but there is different weighted values depending on that ethnic origin's racial history in the United States. Mm-hmm. And it's such a delicate balancing act that you do have to walk literally through a minefield. And you just are at risk of offending somebody of something. And Bill Burr puts it so perfectly where he's able to make a comedy bit out of it, speaking as a white man. I mean,
the whitest white
man from Boston.
Like red hair, dude.
Like, puts a new meaning to Boston cream, so.
What the hell is going on here, dude? Oh, God.
But you know what I mean? But it's like, only him. And I would say Bernie Mac, because Bernie Mac used to love to use the word MFer a lot. Yeah. But then you taught me the history of the word MFer, and now I'm just like, I can't. It's like, I don't know. Yeah. This is why, like, this type of stuff, the racial stuff, all this, it makes me uncomfortable even talk about, because I don't know what direction to say without it offending somebody.
Well, please allow me to offend everybody.
Okay.
No, I actually super acknowledge that, because look, and a lot of times you don't know about the racial history of everybody who's here. Like how many people know about the Chinese Exclusion Act? Yeah. So if you don't know the Chinese Exclusion
Act, or the Chinese Massacre, I forgot what state it was in, but it happened.
Or just the saying "not a Chinaman's chance," which is like sounds horrible when you say it, but then when you realize that they were like lowering people into mines and having them like plant dynamite and light it, and hey, if the wick was too fast, if the wick burnt too fast. Mm-hmm. They would be gone, you know. And I was like, what? Well, the Chinese dudes were lighter and they lower them down. I'm like, wow. So they were using like life-threatening conditions to make someone else rich.
And then to speak of Asian American history is that the Japanese, especially my step family's Japanese. Mm-hmm. And we had property over in Redwood City. But during 1945, or before that, 1943, 1944, 1945, with World War II, most of the Japanese people were interned. I mean, Tan Fran over in San Bruno here, next to YouTube, was an internment camp. And so it's like now, see, it's going to be looped in really weird, is that with the Japanese Americans, some of them did get reparations from what I've learned. But speaking of personal experience with my own family history, there's a lot of property that was taken and never was returned.
Right.
So, but now I start to look at through the African American experience, and now the talks of it's so
it happens.
It's hard to it's an asteroid field. Yeah. Like you can't really, like, you know, the whole Star Wars at the Millennium Falcon trying to navigate through.
You know,
that
it's really great. He said Star Wars, and I have a Star Wars Tervis cup I'm drinking my tea out of.
But I think that's what comedy is so important for, right? With Bill Burr and Dave Chappelle, they're able to have these discussions.
Able to bring these discussions up. You're able to discuss something that's painful. It's able to let two people from a different background understand it. And that's why I love these comedians. And you know, I'm always down. I mean, I told you before I wanted to do reaction to a lot of comedy and stuff, because I always knew the intrinsic value of being able to laugh at pain. I always knew the value of it. As far as Bill Burr goes, I think that I first of all, as far as your take on it, I think that was like it was actually well spoken, even though you like went through the minefield.
Oh yeah,
like you were hella.
I feel uncomfortable. I'm telling you right now, I feel uncomfortable talking about race. Like it really makes me feel. I'm happy that there's Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle that's able to talk about it because I don't really even want to touch it.
And maybe we need these folks who kind of don't give a damn how you feel. To kind of come out and say what they feel. Kind of come out and make a little fun of it so we can have these conversations. Maybe that's the most important part of it. And I think that I don't even want to add nothing more to it. I think that's the best thing I can say is maybe that's just the most important part of it. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add.
Really? Yeah, so I mean that's yeah, let's keep doing these comedic reactions, and in fact it allows me to feel comfortable when they're saying it because at least I know it's people like what they're saying.
Yeah, so and here's a question I'll ask, question of the day. Do you want to see more comedic reactions? Because I know a bunch of Chris Rock clips, old Eddie Murphy clips, Paul Mooney, of course, Dave Chappelle. We can even get the black sheep up here like Corey Holcomb.
Yeah.
One of the funniest men ever is Corey Holcomb, but he's a savage. He's a savage. And you bring up some of that stuff, woo! That YouTube algorithm, it might be one of those like low performers because it might get throttled, but it's worth it. And of course, the GOAT, Patrice O'Neal.
You know how I'm perceived as like quiet or subdued or whatever, right, on the show? Well, I think looking at these clips, you'll see that my humor is actually on the very raunchy, non-politically correct side.
No. People come to me, oh my God, Scott, he's such a nice one. Scott is the dirtiest person I know. Scott is the dirtiest person ever. And I'll put, oh, look at him. He's so nice. He's a little nice. Is it Asian? Is he an Asian boy? He's a little nice Asian guy. Look at his smile. He's so nice. He's so nice. And then the camera turns around. Scott's like, booty.
Booty everywhere.
Yeah, booty right in my face. It's like
that song? Booty
everywhere. Yeah, you can turn around and Scott. I turn around and Scott's dressed like Bubba Sparks. I found you, Miss New Booty. Jesus.
All
right. So look, don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube, share, and hit that notification bell
for all of our latest videos.
Yes. And you can follow me on the gram at IamGorilla1. You can follow this guy at
Scott.Tieee with 3 E's. And you can also find all of my other social media accounts down in the description below with Grover.
Yep.
And his other social accounts, if they're there. I think they're there.
Hopefully they're there.
Oh, and our official email's there too.
Our official email, yes. And also, you can find us. You can follow the TIP Network on all under the consolidated name THPP Network on all social media platforms. From the Twitter, and you know what they call Twitter when you play with the nipples with your pointer finger. From the Twitter to the Facebook.
So Grover's really active on the Instagram on the TIP Network. I'm more active on the Twitter one,
and he's active on the Twitter space.
So yeah, you can reach any of us there.
Reach any of us, and we'll reach out to you. And I guess the last thing we can do is ask one question.
Oh, I'm supposed to ask it? Okay, stop, Scott. Can you handle the tip?
Boom. Booty in your face. We're out.
My sound, to slaughter every sound. 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 My sound, to slaughter every sound.
We found true happiness.